Hey everybody, welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where I answer the questions that you have about your health and fitness goals. And of course, I try to choose ones that are super popular or that I come upon frequently. But today's kind of a weird one. I actually haven't really talked about this, at least not in public, but I have talked to many of my clients who are in this situation where they have implants and they're not sure whether or not they should even be lifting. So first of all, I just have to ask you to respect what we're talking about and be professional, because of course I've already gotten responses from some of my buddies. I'm just like, seriously, let's just be professional. Let's be adults. Got an adult today. So we're going to talk about whether or not it's appropriate to lift when you have implants. So, just to give you a little background on my story, about 12 years ago, I actually had breast reduction surgery. I was a 38J, and I'm not lying. Try finding bras that size. Super fabulous. So I actually, after waiting for my insurance to actually pay for it, which they didn't, I went ahead and paid for a reduction because, of course, that has given me some significant issues with my back. Matter of fact, if you see my traps, they're fairly big, and I don't work them. Yeah, so that just kind of comes from, having to hold myself up for a long time. Anyway, once I lost all the weight, guess what else disappeared? So I had reduction, and then they disappeared, and I chose to put them back. So I know a little bit about implants as I have them myself. So one of the interesting things for women is that when you lift, it does make some issues arise, and we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But the first thing that I want to tell you is, it's totally up to you whether you get them. I have nothing against it. I'm a big fan of do whatever you can to get where you want to be with your health and fitness goals, and then what you can't do yourself, go ahead and have it fixed. And you know what, ladies, you technically can't really grow boobs. So, if that's something you choose to do, if you're very small, I've been big most of my life. So to all of a sudden, go from being super big to having absolutely nothing, just felt a little weird. And so, you know what? It was my choice. I chose to go ahead and have implants, partially because once I got super lean, breasts are actually made of fatty tissue, as well as mammary glands, and it depends on what you have as to whether or not you're going to shrink as you lose weight and gain muscle. So I was one that they just disappeared. So a couple of things to think about when you choose to get them. Obviously, it is a personal choice. Make sure that you listen to your surgeon, your doctor, to everything they have to say. From experience, one of the things you will have to think about is you're going to have to take some time off after surgery. Whether or not you choose to lift, and we're talking predominantly about chest day, is really up to you, but there's some things that will happen afterwards. It's going to take some time to heal. Your pectoralis muscles are going to be stretched out a little bit. And whether you choose to put the implant under or over the muscle is predominantly your choice. There's some pros and cons to both, which we're not going to really cover today. But most of us want to look fairly natural, so a lot of us choose to put them underneath the muscle. Now, here's the downside to lifting if you choose to do that. Now, when you choose to lift chest and you have implants, what ends up happening is as you build that pectoralis muscle, it tends to build to the point where it pushes the implant outward. So unfortunately, because I have chosen over time to go ahead and lift, now for some people you don't need to. Ladies, if your goal isn't necessarily to get stronger when it comes to your upper body, your chest muscles, if you're not powerlifting like benching, you may not choose to do that. Or even if you are competing in the bodybuilding world and you're doing bikini or figure, you don't really need the striation that comes through your chest muscles. So that's probably something that you actually want to avoid. But because I chose to do women's physique, I actually had to have a little bit of chest muscles. So unfortunately, that has done some things like push them outward. So keep that in mind that, it's not really even something that you can fix because that muscle is pretty intensely built into that. And I just have to, and again, trying to be professional here, don't be creepy weird, but I've had to build a little bit of chest. And so, that's done some things like when I flex, they square out. It's a little odd, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I had to make some choices, but it is something that you have to think about. If you do, come on, ladies, you're paying thousands of dollars for this. You really have to kind of balance that out. Most of us don't need to lift chests because we have, a bust. So keep that in mind. A couple of things that I just want to make sure for people, because all the time I get clients that are thinking about it, especially as they lose a lot of weight or a lot of body fat, and again, fatty tissue may go along with that. There's a couple things to think about when you choose to do that. First of all, obviously, research your surgeons well. I was very, very specific, very picky, did a lot of research before I did it. But the one thing from experience I would make sure you do whatever the doctor tells you to do, okay? Because they're gonna, again, tell you to take some time off. I ended up going right back to work, which of course at the time I was training, not my best option, because then again, a year later, I had to go have a scar revision. So I have a really, really expensive bust. I just do. Between a reduction, implants, and a revision, it's been a little spendy. So again, when people choose to do that, I just, you know what, do what your doctor tells you to. If he says wait 6 weeks to even start lifting and then wait till the go ahead, whatever, just do it, because you're going to be better off overall. I know it's hard to stop lifting, been there, but do what he tells you to do. The other thing is, if you decide that you're going to go back to heavy lifting, just know that that's going to have some repercussions, and make sure that you're at peace with it. Make sure your surgeon knows. And then again, whether you choose to put it over or under the muscle, that's a decision for you and your surgeon to make. But again, everybody's different, so I can't make that judgment for you. So keep that in mind. But do take your time. Even if you do choose to start lifting again, you're going to have to allow your muscles to, the swelling to go down, the inflammation to go down. There's a lot that has to happen there. You might even have to start lower body wise. And honestly, it's not even just chest day, ladies, that you have to think about. There are some other things that I find are a little awkward. Sometimes when I do triceps, whether it's dips or tricep push downs on the cables, sometimes they get a little weird and get in the way. So keep in mind, it's going to affect some different things. But honestly, if you've had, a good surgeon that can kind of give you all the tips and tricks, you should be okay for the most part. Just, you don't really have to do a lot of chest. I mean, again, you're going to have to make a decision on that. And be smart. Really, that's what it is. It's be smart. So if you have a friend that's kind of wondered about that, if you're a trainer, I've actually had other trainers ask me, because, if you're a guy, you don't know. Again, I usually warn women, if you have implants, I kind of leave chest day out, because there's really, to me, I don't work with a whole lot of people that really need to have that shredded, striated look with cleavage. So, there's no benefit there. So hopefully that answers some questions. Again, kind of a weird topic, but I just realized one day I had never talked about that before. And it does answer a question that a lot of women have. So I get my very best ideas from you guys. So if you have a question, or if you've had this experience, maybe you have a tip or an idea, or just, want to tell people how it was for you, please leave a comment below. We love to hear from you. I find it fascinating. I see a lot of people popping on tonight. We love that. Really quick, No Meals with Melissa this Sunday. We will be coming back from Night of Champions in Spokane, Washington. We have 4 bikini girls that are going to do amazing. I'm super excited there. Other thing, and I know I haven't really posted this, but I have just officially become an NPC judge. So pretty excited in the spring to get to participate in that. 2 more shows coming up for the fall that we have clients at. The first one is Boise. I cannot remember the name of the show. There's one in the spring, one in the fall, and I cannot remember the difference. One's Idaho Cup and the other's something else. Anyway, in Boise, Idaho at the Revolution Concert Hall. And then the following weekend in Shelton, Washington, at the casino there. So hopefully we'll see some of you guys there to cheer us on. Go Team Fillmore. And have an incredible night, you guys. You may also, if you have a great idea or a question, message me directly at Facebook Messenger. I do respond. So have a great night, you guys. And until next week, that is Q&A Wednesday. Have a good night.